examine the relationship between supply and demand. The relationship between demand and price is known as the law of demand. And the law of demand can be explained by the income effect and the substitution effect. If the price rises, people will feel poor. The purchasing power of their real income has fallen. This is known as the income of a price change. Because of an increase in price, people will switch to alternative or substitute goods. This is called the substitution effect of price change. In this graph, you will find information about the market demand for potatoes. As you can see, there is a negative relationship between price and quantity. When the price increases, the quantity will fall. But price is not the only determinant of demand. There are other determinants of demand. For example, taste is also a determinant of demand. When we like a product more, we would like to buy more of that. And taste is influenced by, for example, advertising. The number and price of substitute goods. Substitute goods are alternative goods, is also important and is also a determinant of demand. The number and price of complementary goods. Complementary goods are goods that are used together. For example, cars and petrol. And substitute goods are goods that are substituting each other. For example, cigarettes and e-cigarettes. Income in the distribution of income is also a determinant of demand. And future price expectations are also is also a determinant of demand. Because if consumers think that the price will increase in the future, they will demand more of the good now. If they think that the price will be lower in the future, they will demand less of it. So what happens? You will have movements along and shifts in the demand curve. When there is a change in price, you have a movement along the demand. So you have a change in price here. Suppose the price increases 40 to 60. What do you see? Yeah, from 40 to 60, you have a movement along the demand curve. Yes, so therefore the quantity will decrease from 500 to 350. But what happens when other determinants, like, for example, when there is a change in the taste, when there is a change in the taste of a good, when people like the good more, what will happen then? When people like the good more, they will demand more of the good. And therefore, you have a shift of the demand curve, a shift to the right, because the quantity will increase, they will demand. When they demand less of the good, yeah, because of, for example, a fall in the price of substitute goods, yes, or a decrease in income, for example, a decrease in income, therefore they have less money available to purchase the good, so therefore they will demand less of the good. So in this case, you have a shift of the demand curve to the left. So only if the price changes, you have a movement along the demand curve. When other determinants, then the price changes, then you have a shift of the demand curve, and it depends on if it leads to a rise in demand, you have a shift to the right. When it leads to a decrease in demand, you have a shift to the left. Suppose the product is coconuts. Suppose that coconuts and pineapples are substitute goods. If the price of pineapples increases, what will be the effect of this change in the market of coconuts? So here you can see that pineapples and coconuts are substitute goods. And substitute goods is one of the determinants of demand. So something will happen to the demand curve. In this case, the price of pineapples is increasing, so people will demand less pineapples and they will demand more coconuts. And since we are making this exercise or this graph, the graph for the product coconuts, yeah, you have a shift of the demand curve for coconuts. That is illustrated. Yeah? Possible cause of a rise in demand. So the rise in price of a substitute good, in this case pineapples, is increasing. So therefore, people will demand more coconuts, and therefore you have a shift of the demand curve. Another one. Coconuts reduce in price. So there is a price reduction for coconuts. What is the effect on the market for coconuts? As discussed earlier, what you know is that when the price is changing, you have a movement along the demand curve. So in this case, if you have a reduction in the price of coconuts, you don't have any shift of the demand curve to the left or to the right, but you have a movement along the demand curve because the price is changing only. So what is the effect on the market for coconuts? The effect is a movement along the demand curve. So the price was P1, the quantity that was demanded was Q1. So now the price is decreasing from P1 to P2. What will happen? Consumers will demand more of the good from Q1 to Q2. So you have a movement along the demand curve from this point to